What the fuck does that even mean?
Disco Elysium is a single-player RPG that begins with a preset character who loses all their memories and meets up with a companion who seems to know them, hears mysterious voices, and yes, it's a complete Planescape Torment ripoff. Good! Planescape Torment is a great game. Rip it off.
Better than ripping off Overwatch, then ripping off Fortnite, and then ripping your entire company. Am I right, Chloe?
You remember how the sentient mischief of rats BioWare somehow came to the conclusion that the main thing people love their games for is combat, and built an entire game on that foundation, like a crack house built on sand? The creatives of Disco Elysium were smarter than this. They wisely decided that since everyone hated the combat system of Planescape Torment, they're not going to put combat in their game at all. Disco Elysium still contains conflict and tense situations, but they are all resolved through your stats, items, choices, and good old dice rolls, which can lead to spectacular successes like this moment where I 360 no-scope spin kick headshot a man, or spectacular failures where in an attempt to escape I jumped into the air and then crash landed on an elderly woman in a wheelchair. You as a police officer go around, solve crimes and mysteries, complete quests, level your character, engage in dialogues, make choices, fall in love, make friends and mortal enemies, lose your last morale point, give up and die of alcoholism under a bridge. God damn it!
Makers of those walking simulators that games journalists and other feeble-minded degenerates adore so much often fail to realize that if your game doesn't have much in terms of mechanics and entirely relies on the story to work, the story should be fucking good.
Luckily, the writing of Disco Elysium is great. It's ornate and flowery, metaphor-heavy, and when appropriate it can be funny, grim, or both. Speaking of writing, I should mention that if politics scare you, you should stay away because this game contains a lot of things like capitalism versus communism, globalization and xenophobia, racism, sexism, drug abuse, child abuse, homophobia, revolution, imperialism, political violence, corporations, corruption, and Kevin Bacon. None of it feels forced or partisan though. The world is shades of grey and the game allows you to support any ideology you want, or none of them at all. Plus, this grittiness creates an authentic portrait of police work in a shitty port town populated by 30% dock workers, 20% incest and 50% hostile sea breezes, torn in two by clashing belief systems and wreathed in fear. A nice contrast to the sterile non-reality of another game I recently played, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which has absolutely nothing in terms of plot or characters, but admittedly went a lot further than Disco Elysium in creating an atmosphere of grim corporate dystopia. If you live alone, secreted away in a little apartment—
Oh, I can attest that my viewers secrete—
I don't mean secreting as in you secreting an odor. And if you have no friends, this game might be the closest you can get to experiencing a pen and paper tabletop role-playing game. If you like Fallout 2, Baldur's Gate, Planescape Torment, or Dragon Age Origins, you will love it. If reading isn't your strong suit and you want something like that but with a little more action, I would suggest getting Fallout New Vegas, Alpha Protocol, or Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
And don't forget to take a look at the best RPG of all time, Fallout 76. A game with a wonderfully depicted theme of the power of choosing between evil and good, abstracted as choosing between giving Todd money or giving him the finger.